She's using the Time 100 Gala to reveal this?
It's not for us to have shame. It's for them.
Ryan Reynolds broke down after Blake Lively spectacularly unraveled at the Time 100 Gala, and no one saw it coming. What should have been a career-defining moment turned into a public implosion that left the audience stunned and her husband visibly shaken.
I wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
In classic Blake fashion, she took the stage, but instead of sharing her own journey, she launched into a meandering retelling of her mother's struggles. The result? A baffled audience, a visibly cringing Ryan Reynolds, and a speech so confusing it had everyone asking the same question. What just happened?
We change it. Just as our fellow Time 100 honoree, the incredible Giselle Pellicot, put it to every woman who understood, it's not for us to have shame. It's for them.
At the Time 100 Gala, Blake Lively glided onto the stage with flawless hair and a glittering gown, radiating confidence as if she owned the universe. The crowd braced themselves for a powerful, emotional speech, something heartfelt, something raw, something worthy of the moment. Instead, what they got was a rambling performance that left the room divided between awkward silence and secondhand embarrassment.
Her urging and her unwavering bravery, she wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
But no, in the most on-brand Blake move ever, she swerved completely off the expected track. Instead of giving us the grit, grind, and behind-the-scenes scars it takes to stay on top in Hollywood, she chose to tell her mom's story.
Life was influenced most by my mother, sitting here tonight, Lily Elaine McAlpin.
Oh, Blake's mother!
Yes, her mom's story. Because nothing screams personal achievement, quite like outsourcing your trauma to a family member when the spotlight is squarely on you.
Time where the most valuable currency seems to be anger. It feels like an act of defiance to commune and celebrate all the good that is alive in the world. And the many here tonight who either challenge the system and or show us the magic exists on Earth.
Here's the problem. People didn't show up for secondhand war stories. Blake, they came for you. They wanted the glossy, polished, I survived Hollywood speech, wrapped in a killer smile and a closet full of Met Gala gowns.
Mom, for giving me your moment so I can look like a victim through you. This is like when Amber took her assistant's story.
And here's the real kicker. It's not that her mother's story wasn't moving. It was. Moms are heroes, no debate there. But it was the wrong stage, wrong moment, wrong vibe. Instead of giving us the raw, messy, human Blake that people secretly craved, she cloaked herself in her mom's legacy like velvet armor and prayed no one would notice the dodge. Spoiler, everyone noticed.
Something they reiterate a lot. We disagree, here's why, but worst case scenario, if we lose, we are allowed legally to go make an amendment, and we should at least be doing that.
For years. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were Hollywood's unofficial prom king and queen, except instead of yearbook signatures, they were cashing in on perfume campaigns, streaming deals, and curated Instagram moments.
Here's Ryan Reynolds giving a pep talk to Blake before she's about to give her speech. Look at how cute they are. Oh, he's such a perfect man. Oh.
Their love story looked so perfectly packaged you'd think it came with a bow. But anyone paying attention could see the cracks, the playful digs in interviews that cut a little too deep. The rehearsed banter that felt more strained than sweet.
All a PR stunt. I'm like uncomfortable. I'm visibly uncomfortable watching them sort of force themselves to.
Then came the solo red carpets, brushed off as busy schedules. Totally normal married couple behavior, right? Definitely not a warning sign. But Hollywood loves a fairy tale, even when it's stitched together with duct tape, PR spin, and forced smiles.
I gotta be honest, they are trying so hard. All these photos are just so ridiculous. Look at the gown. This photo really took the cake for me.
The perfect couple image wasn't romance, it was revenue. Every handhold, every smile, every choreographed date night translated into magazine spreads, sponsorship deals, and a never-ending stream of Dasher couple goals content.
Looks terrified. Like Ryan genuinely stuck between these women. All a PR stunt.
But behind the filtered glow, it looked less like true love and more like joint therapy. Being Hollywood's golden couple wasn't a lifestyle, it was a relentless PR campaign. No breaks, no off days, just endless performance.
Blake and Ryan and her mother decided to attend the Time 100 Gala. There they are.
And then came the Time 100 Gala. What should have been? Another predictable night of designer. Gowns and hollow chatter turned into a full-scale PR. Disaster
was a good idea. I kid you not. This is, again, one of the dumbest PR moves. Just a woman who is in denial, attempting to gaslight the entire world who is witnessing what's actually happening.
Blake. Lively arrived and jaws dropped, but not the flattering kind. She didn't look new. She looked worn down, like the Hollywood machine had chewed her up. The long circulating plastic surgery whispers suddenly exploded into front-page speculation.
I can't make sense of this at all. I'm honestly shocked.
I have so much to say about the last 2 years of my life, but tonight is not the forum.
So, does that mean she's going to do an Oprah interview? Oh my God, bring it on.
What I will speak to separately is the feeling of being a woman who has a voice today.
And then came Blake's speech, equal parts emotional plea and strategic branding exercise. It was the kind of teary Hollywood monologue that clutches your heartstrings while somehow managing to promote, well, every single aspect of her life.
As I could speak because of the pain, caution, and fight of the many women who have paved the way and the men who stood beside them.
She took the stage like she'd spent weeks rehearsing for her own private Oscars, delivering a performance so stirring it nearly gave the audience whiplash. If only they could forget she was selling something with every breath.
Oh, thank you all women for allowing me to take this man's movie and be a mean girl and do whatever I want. Thank you, women. I hope you're proud of me now.
Yes, the speech was about empowerment and survival, but it also conveniently doubled as a reminder of her greatness. Because nothing screams, "I've got it all together," quite like recounting your hardships in couture at a 10,000 a plate gala.
Millions I will never know the name of, because every life, every act, big or small, affects another. Before I say more, I want to warn that I will speak about tonight covers trauma, so please feel free to step away from me.
Blake leaned hard into the warrior persona, polishing her pain into a brand with practiced precision.
Life was influenced most by my mother, sitting here tonight, Willie Elaine McAlpin.
Oh, Blake's mother! Oh, look.
She spoke of her mother's courage, and even credited a woman on the radio with saving her life. If your heart didn't swell, clearly you weren't paying attention, or maybe you just noticed how carefully the inspiration was packaged.
She's an eternal optimist, and she's always leaving me messages, hooping and hollering and saying, "Woo, life's just a bowl of cherries." It's true, always. And she'll get your number tonight, and she'll leave you those messages, so please be warned.
But of course, it couldn't stop there. The bravery of her mother wasn't just inspiring, it was the very reason Blake was standing in that room, basking in the spotlight.
Her urging and her unwavering bravery, she wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
It was a masterclass in emotional manipulation, peppered with just enough "look how much I've endured" to remind everyone why she belonged on the Time 100 list. Humility, Hollywood style.
Who has a voice today, as if she didn't have a voice previously. Girl, you have one of the loudest voices I've seen in Hollywood. You stole the entire damn movie from Justin. You threatened him. I will not promote this unless I get this. I will not do this unless you get that. I will not sign that until I get this. You have the biggest voice I've seen. I've watched far too many interviews.
And she wasn't done. Blake elevated her narrative into a grand statement about women carrying invisible burdens. The way she framed this silent sisterhood was so heavy-handed, it could qualify as resistance training. The message? She's here thanks to her mother's unseen strength, and we should thank her for unveiling it. Meanwhile, her PR team was probably popping champagne in the back.
Do these talks. Sometimes, the last one I did, I mentioned that the greatest superpower I ever had in my life, I'm not talking about just my career or anything, was knowing who I am.
Buckle up. Because Ryan Reynolds' breakdown wasn't the cute couple goals cry into Blake's arms kind. No, this was a raw, unnerving unraveling that even Hollywood's toughest cynics couldn't laugh off.
Time, look how much fun they are having at the red carpet event, because, you know, that's what couples who are suffering with traumatic, crippling fear and harassment do, is they go out and smile for cameras and act like there's nothing happening,
So let's rewind to the Time 100 summit. The stage where the cracks in his armor really started to show.
Reynolds' Hollywood PR machine is in full effect, appearing in both The Hollywood Reporter and the Time 100 Creative Summit.
Ryan, usually armed with razor-sharp jokes, suddenly transformed. The sarcasm vanished, replaced by a man who looked like he'd just realized he'd signed a lifetime contract with fame. and the IRS
Fails to mention Blake at the summit as he swerves these questions about the negative headline.
fans noticed what the glossy coverage ignored. His body language screamed discomfort. He practically recoiled from Blake as the cameras rolled, his distance more telling than words.
No, it's like Tina Fey says, if you're feeling good about yourself, just go online. You know.
I mean, that's true, but of course he has to position himself right away as the victim.
There were stiff smiles, sidelong glances, and sighs deep enough to echo. He looked like a man desperate to crawl out of his own skin.
I didn't become part. My career was an aggregate. It was very slow, so I didn't have that like overnight success. I was in my 30s when I started, so I had, it was the risk of dying from fame is much, much lower when you get older.
The whispers grew louder. Ryan was nearing a breaking point. This wasn't about one bad night. It was the public persona colliding head-on with the private exhaustion he could no longer mask.
Who is he? He's the guy who clicked when he read the negative and the positive article about himself? So which was it? You're not either of those, okay? Well, how did you know who you are?
No red carpet sparkle could cover the truth. Mentally, emotionally, maybe even physically, he was unraveling. He played the part, the polished husband, the professional jokester, but anyone looking closely could see the fractures beneath the Instagram veneer.
No, it's like Tina Fey says, if you're feeling good about yourself, just go online.
And while the world kept swooning over the perfect couple, Ryan was quietly suffocating under the weight of it all, surviving one strained smile at a time. A man in desperate need of a vacation from his own life.
How does all the negative attention affect your businesses? Because if you scroll through the comments of this video, Team Justin all the way.
And how he kept it together is anyone's guess. Ryan looked like a man silently counting down the days until he could vanish from the spotlight. He wasn't ready for the world to see this version of him, the vulnerable one, crumbling under the weight of standards no human could ever meet, least of all in Hollywood.
Has just been publicly humiliating Justin Baldoni as soon as he could, as many times as he could, and using as many A-list actors as he could.
And then there's the plastic surgery chatter. Blake's time. 100 appearance reignited every rumor, louder and messier than before. She's hardly the first to chase the impossible Hollywood mirage. Demi Moore, Khloe Kardashian, Juliette Lewis, faces reshaped until they were nearly unrecognizable. Now Blake joins the list, sculpting herself into an ideal that exists only in the funhouse mirror of celebrity beauty culture.